I almost forgot to hit start recording. Now we're recording. But yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, and hello. My name is Ian, the Part-Time Experience, and we are kind of celebrating my 1 year of being a streamer, particularly an affiliate one, but really just streaming in general. The official affiliate date, I think, is like a week from now, but that doesn't matter. That's not what I care about. What I care about is the fact that I've been doing RPG Maker streams for about a year now, and things have been essentially looking better for the channel and for the stream since doing it, and I really can't say anything other than thank you. Thank you to everyone who has come for my streams or caught me on the archives on YouTube. I honestly wouldn't be at this point without any of you, and yeah, I appreciate you greatly. That being said, I also wanted to say thank you to each and every one of the devs that had suggested their games, that also gave feedback or accepted my feedback when I critiqued their games and so on. I greatly appreciate you, as well as your games help me kind of build this up and help spread the word of me doing long play reviews of your games. So this is also all kind of for you. Also, any and all revenue from this stream will go to the Children's Miracle Network. I know I don't really make a lot of money, but I'm hoping that if you guys can at least donate $1, I'll be happy, and I'll most likely try and donate some as we go through as well. Oh wow, that is still loud. Hey, D7. What the fuck? Valen? Valen? Thank you. I was only hoping to raise like 100 this go around, but there we go. A third way to the three quarters of the way to the goal, because of Valen being super fucking awesome. Thank you. Seriously. APG. God, that destroyed my train of thought. What was I saying? All right. As you guys can see, this stream is for charity. We're raising money for the Children's Miracle Network. As some of you may know, I have a permanent soft spot for the Children's Miracle Network because they helped cover a lot of the bills way back when my kid was born. My kid was born a month early, so he was a premature baby, and he had to spend time in the newborn intensive care unit. And the Children's Miracle Network helped pay for some of that. And because of that, I'll always just eternally be grateful to them. Because of them, I've got pretty much a perfect teenage healthy boy now. He's a bit of a butt, but you know, what teenager isn't? So yeah. Fuck, I didn't... Phelan, I didn't expect you to do that. Goddamn. Oh, that is greatly appreciated, though. But, right. So, let's get this out by essentially going over the sections that we're going to be having. We're going to be doing the good, the aspiring, the wall of shame, then previews. So, stunlock, you did. You stunlocked me. I'll power through. I still got my Adderall going through my body. Not for much longer. I probably got about an hour's worth left in me. But I'm going to get through it. So the good is obviously the games that I highly recommend, and I would ask that each of you give it a try as well if you haven't, because I feel like the games are worth your time. Some of them might not be very long. Some of them may be very long. But the key point is they show a lot of hope for what is to come from these developers, and also what the engine is capable of, because while there's different versions of RPG Maker, there's some parts of it that will always be RPG Maker. The aspiring are ones that didn't quite make it over the hump. They are not god-awful, terrible don't play, but they didn't make it towards a perfect score for one reason or another. Now, I would like to also point out there are some games that I put in the good that aren't perfect scores, but there's a reason behind that, and I'll get to it. But let's start out with the good. Games that actually really, really did perform well. And to do that, we gotta go over to this screen. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. We gotta turn that music off, so that way we don't have that playing anymore. So, let's see. Where's the first game? Alright, here it is. So, let's roll the clip. This game, 7 Days. When I played it was originally a demo, but now it's actually fully out, and I have to say, it was a hit close to home that was unexpected but welcomed. I feel like that's the best way I could put it, to be honest. It shows a heart and ideal of aspiring beyond your past, to come with terms with and move on from what you've experienced. It touches on hard subjects that, honestly, some may not feel comfortable speaking about, but honestly, we should speak about them. Everything in this game is hand-drawn, using a lot of black and white with splashes of color here and there to help convey a state of mind and mood while being a minimalistic kind of feeling. The music, like I said, it's a vibe throughout. It's very wonderful, and gameplay-wise, it's more of a puzzle story game with an interesting mechanic of looking into the past of your character or of a room. And honestly, I feel like you should really give it your time, because never mind all the hype that came out around the game, where the guy was, posting out the days counting down to the 7 days full release. It's a wonderful game. I think you'd enjoy it. And that's why I gave it 5 out of 5. Also, I just realized I forgot to turn some of these things up, because I've been working on a lot of things and scaling a number of stuff. Boop, those are back. There we go. So yeah, 7 days. I did that one as a pre-record to try and test to see how I felt about doing pre-records, and so there are a couple of them that are, like I said, done beforehand, edited beforehand. And 7 days is definitely one of those games that really stood out to me. And now that I've kind of, been trying to play it on the side when I'm not streaming, I stand by my initial thoughts. The game, it's nice. It's close and personable. And the feeling of the art, I feel that even though a lot of people joke, like, it's just hand-drawn and it looks like a kid drew it, I don't care about that, because it helps convey the story and so on of 7 days. As such, I'm giving 7 days a perfect 5 out of 5. It does what it's meant to do, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And at the moment, I don't think there's anything that could really be improved upon it. It's something to sit and enjoy. Figure out the puzzles, figure out what you're supposed to do. That kind of stuff. What was the next one? Oh, yeah. Now I remember what the next one is. This one is... Oop. That's too big. Seventh Warrior. This game. Oh boy. It is a long-ass game. It's, the demo is only about 6 to 7 hours. It's only covering the first chapter as well. But Seventh Warrior does a lot that a number of other games don't. There's a lot of custom assets with almost every part of this game. From in-character, or rather in-combat stuff, and even outside of combat stuff. There's even a full fight outside of combat that is just a cutscene, and it's wonderfully done. The music's on point, the graphics is on point. The UI controls is also very intuitive and easy to essentially pick up and go. The only real problem is that there's not full controller support built in. You have to use a secondary program that the developer does provide with. But overall, the game is good enough to play that I can kind of overlook this. There tends to be sometimes a translation and a localization issue because the developer is German and, English is a second language. So again, things that are forgivable, as he is also going back and fixing these things as he continues to develop the story of Dark. And honestly, again, with everything that's going on in this, I cannot stress enough, the amount of work that has gone into this game is amazing. And it is absolutely worth your time and energy to go and give it a try. Oop, there's a bot. Get rid of the bot. Goodbye, bot. Oh, and thank you, F-Zero, for another $5 towards the charity goal. Yeah. Oh yeah, also, key thing to note, I believe he said there's going to be up to 7 or 8 chapters, and like I said, the first chapter is 6 to 8 hours. That's just the first chapter. So this is going to be a long-ass game, and I am still eagerly awaiting the full release of it. Where's the... Oh, that's why that didn't pop up. Like I said, I turned off a whole bunch of stuff while I was testing stuff, and I gotta turn that stuff back on. One day I'll be a true streamer, and I'll be super good. But it ain't today. Oh, and like, good example, I didn't switch that over like I was supposed to. But yeah, so that's the 7th Warrior. It is available now on itch, and it was made by the developer Retro Valley. Up next also is another game that I consider very good, even though it is odd. And by odd, I do mean very odd. Out of all the other games that I've played, and I have essentially continued playing off stream, this one definitely is the most unique, or if not one of the most unique. This is Ark's Wonder Dungeon. It is so weird in regards to a lot of things, but primarily most people notice right off the bat is the graphics. It does kind of look like someone drew them in MS Paint. It's not a bad thing though. It's actually really good, and it complements the stylization and the themes of the game. Music-wise, it's very chill, but it's primarily on the roguelike gameplay of where it's a unique dungeon crawler where you go through and you learn little bits of the character's story and background as you play and as you unlock things. And as I said, I'm still playing this even off stream because I still haven't fucking beat it. It's a very difficult game. And it's not a, oh, this is hard and I fucking hate it difficult. It's more of, this is challenging and I do like it. I hate the fucking clown. I hate the magic hat thing, Magnifico, but I only hate them because they were annoying to get to and to beat and such. But, and I cannot stress this enough, the game is good. It is worth every penny. And if I could go back to when this game first launched and sing its praises and essentially raise the alarms like, you fuckers need to play this because it's been out for a year now, and I feel it's criminal that it has so few Steam reviews. So yeah, Ark's Wonder Dungeon. It's another 5 out of 5 game. It's great to pick up for an hour or two, play through, hope you're able to get some progress, and if not, that's fine. Because it's a roguelite, you're supposed to go through again. Sometimes things work out well, other times the RNG gods, well, they have it out for you. Boop boop, boo doo boo, boo doo boo boo doo boo. Oh, I bet you guys are wondering what's next. It is possibly the game that I loved the most. Well, no. Yeah, it's one of the games that I have loved the most. One of the games that I enjoyed so much playing on stream. And I have enjoyed just reading back through things, going back and playing again in my spare time, and just appreciating the callback to essentially my childhood. It's beloved Rapture. To say that this game is anything less than fantastic does it a disservice. Like 7th Warrior, it has a huge amount of custom assets in this. A lot of hard work went into this game by people who not only understand, but love the genre of classic JRPGs. Aesthetically speaking, the art and music combine very well together with the SNES days of a kind of presentation. And this is like near the end of the SNES, where we started to push the game to its the system to its limits. By the way, the world design is also great, and nothing feels out of place. There's often in other games you'd see something like, "Oh, we've got bits of sci-fi mixed in." No, it doesn't exist here. It is pure on Renaissance fantasy. So I am all for that. The combat also never feels too overwhelming, especially if you put it into ATB weight. I know some people like ATB active, not ATB weight, but screw you. I like ATB weight, and it worked better for me playing through this game with that. Each character is also unique and adds a little bit to the story. And while I understand the dev's desire to go back and add more, I feel like he hit a lot of the stuff head on perfectly the first go around. Sure, there's some spots that I wish there was more closure to, but that's the joys of these older games, that you might not get full closure, but you still get a satisfying end. And yeah, Fortispectus is right. This game is insane. It was so fun to play this game. And I feel like it just inspires me to be more excited for his next work that's going to come out. This game was worth the 25 hours of my life that I put into it, and it just makes me wish there was more. But yeah, beloved Rapture. I feel like if you haven't played it, go play it now. If I recall, it's made in 2K3 too, at least one of the older ones. Basically used Magic making this. Exactly. It is made in 2K3 actually. And Milton's crusty mayo panties. God damn. Thank you for the $10 donation to Children's Miracle Network. I get the feeling you donated just so I have to say your name. Oh, that's going to haunt my thoughts and memories and my imagination, but thank you nonetheless for the donation. Oh God. I'm grossed out by that name. But yes, Beloved Rapture was made in RPG Maker 2003, and like I said, there was so much custom work that had to go into it in order to get it to run, and the fact that it runs so well, that just proves the amount of passion that the developer had for this project. And if there's one thing I can respect, it's passion. Alrighty. Up next is another rather well done, rather, a lot of customized assets in it. Oh, it's you, Steffi Queen. Oh, Steffi. I should have known it was you. Well, this fits perfectly because we're now going to be showing some of your work as well. bio-Synthetica. This game is another one of the ones that I feel like is made with a lot of passion and love for the genre. bio-Synthetica is also one of the first games that I ever wrote reviews for and played with the idea of doing reviews. It's one of the reasons why I do what I do, because I found games like bio-Synthetica, and I found bio-Synthetica, and I thought, this game's not getting enough attention on it. There is a lot of love and hard work that has gone into this, where the demo isn't long, I won't put that out, but it is still very good. The story in this game is good, and it's combined with the use of atmosphere and audio. It's got a great oppressive dystopian feel where, you know, the paranormal shit has hit the fan, and humanity is either wiped out or on the brink of extinction. And your little robot boy here, well, his first words don't matter. What his first action is to kill these abominations and either save or avenge humanity. And also, again, I want to point out, the audio in this game is used very well. I loved the scene where you could hear faint whispers from unseen observers watching you, and the sound of movement of, like, something's just outside of your view. All of it was wonderfully done. The radio menu and such was very smooth, on brand, and didn't feel jarring to use. Combat-wise, it's turn-based, meaning not fast, but certainly requiring a bit of planning and strategy. And again, it felt good. It felt right. So bio-Synthetica, made by Greybard. If you want, go give it a check out. But if anything, I have to say, it is absolutely worth it. And also, what also is worth it is Fortispectus, the magnificent individual that they are, rounding off the... I'd like to point out, we've only been streaming for technically only like 30 minutes, and we're already at the $100 goal. I was only hoping to raise 100, but you guys have already met the 100. And I thought, oh cool, you know, the whole stream, I might get 100, but no, Valen decided, I'm just going to drop 75 into it, and then, you know, F-Zero is like, here's another 5. Milton's is like, here's another 10, and Fortispectus is another 10. Well, I guess we hit the $100 goal. That's great, guys. That's great, wonderful. Not like I was... This just means we can go further beyond? Yes. Yes, it does. Aren't you glad I've decided to do these live where you guys can bully me the entire time? It's great. And again, I do greatly appreciate the fact that you guys are donating. I really do. And it makes me happy. Because, like I said, the whole reason why I like the Children's Miracle Network. I was doing well, but the goal was 100. You did enough at doing 75. Don't go broke. That's always the main thing. Don't go broke. Definitely check it out. My bestie is working really hard on it. Almost as hard as PTE with his stream. I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure he's working way harder than I am because I am still a small potato scrub streamer. One of these days I'll be better, but for now, it is what it is. But yes, bio-Synthetica, it's really good. The developers behind it are pretty awesome as well. And honestly, if it wasn't for the character movement that's like you experience in the game, I really wouldn't have even picked it up that it was made in RPG Maker because of everything else of how well done it is. Whew. I'm really glad I took that fistful of that. Always donates for the kids. I've always wanted to do more charity streams, to be honest. But I'm small, so most people know like because I am the small. And I'm fine with that. I am fine with being the small. Oh, this is another long game. Another game that took me quite a while to beat, purely because of just all the content that's in it. And, yeah, shoot, how many hours did I put in this game? Oh, yeah, I put like 20 hours in this game. Small potatoes are still delicious and worthy. Delicious, yes. Worthy... It depends on how you prepare us, because as always with potatoes, you're supposed to cook them, mash them, and stick them in a stew. So, I'm only as good as everything else that helps support me get to this point. But as far as the next game that we're talking about, Leyline Chronicles. This game is definitely an interesting one to me. So the reason why I scored it rather high, in my opinion, is because I feel like it does work quite well with going into the good category. It's not perfect. It has some of its faults. But on the flip side, it does do a lot of things right. And the combat is unique. It's interesting. It's not something you see very often. And honestly, input of different directionals for different attacks to chain into a combo or a special, I had not seen in a game until Leyline Chronicles, and then later in Legend of Legaia when I played it, because Valen bullied me into playing it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing either, because that whole thing is unique. And also, here in Leyline Chronicles, it's rather solid. The chain system where you can link together multiple attacks to get a special move, or just build up points needed for a later combo, it's great. There did take some time for me to get over the visual noise at first, but this game is definitely good and definitely worth your time. And it's a little pricier than some of the other ones, but I still feel like it's really worth it. Leyline Chronicles does finish on a good note, and unfortunately a lot of the weak spots that I see about it are primarily in with the story and interactions between characters. But the developer, DK, has gone back to try and adjust them a little bit since my initial playthrough, and he is taking the critique that we've given him in regards to this and improving the script for the sequel that we will be showcasing this trailer for later on. But Leyline Chronicles as is, I can honestly say it's worth your time and money. Give it a go. There's a lot of stuff that even I didn't finish in it in dealing with some of the bosses and extra secret content. Go find what I couldn't. Go beat the bosses that I couldn't, because some of them are fucking hard. But yeah, the biggest problem with it is a few underused plot points. And like I said, DK is working on those to improve those. And, well, hopefully the next game he makes, Leyline Chronicles 2, will show just how much he has improved as a writer and as a developer. Speaking of someone who's a writer and developer, looks like potatoes are back on the menu, boys. I'm glad someone got that. Ooh, the trailer's well done. Yes. I would like to point out, of all the trailers that I'm going to showcase here, I only worked on a couple of them. But I'm not going to say which ones I worked on, because I'm kind of sad. Because I'm not as good as I used to be when it comes to audio and video editing. I used to be really good at it, but I haven't done it in forever. Alright, next one up. Meta Revelations, Armour of the Abyss. This one was made by our wonderful Zephyr, or Heroic Zephyr, and it's definitely worth a cheese toasty in my opinion. A lot of custom-made, handmade art, and the art style and visuals stay nice and consistent throughout this whole game, with a weird mixture of fantasy and a touch of sci-fi modernism. There's also a lot of creepy detail going into a lot of the monsters and such, and it's not a bad thing. It's cool. A little unsettling in a couple of ones, but it's still cool. And I, for one, really like that the game is being developed by the person who's drawing everything. Because it's, again, just look at this. This is awesome. So, yeah. She's really good, one of the few BOF-inspired devs. Let's go. Yes. So, the music is wonderful. The gameplay is wonderful. Adina, who is the main character you play as, the past isn't forced on you. It's given through you bites of the story itself. It's, again, it gives small, palatable bites of the story at a time. It doesn't just shove everything down your throat with long exposition or anything. It's actually, you know, small, palatable pieces. And it shows that Adina struggles with a sense of identity and a hidden past. Am I a big fan of turn-based games? It depends on the game. It really does. Because I actually do really like action RPGs, which there are a few on this list. But when it comes to, am I going to choose action versus turn-based? It depends on the theme. Because some I feel like work better as action-based games, but others I feel like work better as turn-based. Sci-fi, action. Turn-based is better for fantasy or Renaissance fantasy, which is essentially that medieval kind of esque era. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, there is a bit of a problem where sometimes it's not consistent whether or not the character art is supposed to be showing in a couple instances, and there's a minor thing with the text boxes. But Zephyr said that there's an actual reason for the text boxes sometimes not being consistent, and that it would be explained further in the rest of the game. So I guess we'll get to that whenever they release the damn game. So, yeah, Zephyr, just so you know, as always, release the damn game. All right. Let's see. Up next. Honestly, I gotta say, I have sat there and watched, kind of lurked in some of Zephyr's streams while she worked on assets for this game. And it's like, this is really good, really cool, but I need to stop watching because of the fact that there's so many spoilers. But it's like, I want to fight against that thing. Or, ooh, I can't wait to get to that scene. So it's like, man, it's not fair. But also, back on the thought of turn-based games, RPG Maker is made for turn-based games. There are some action-based RPG Maker games, and like I said, a couple of them, or a few of them are on this list, but honestly, they tend to be hit or miss, and unfortunately, it's 2 misses and a hit. But we'll get to those when we get to them. She nobody talks about her game spoilers. I know. That's part of the reason also I got to stop watching her streams. Because it's like, oh, by the way, when you get to this act, spoiler. And I'm like, no, don't tell me. You're not supposed to tell me. Because if you tell me, then I'm not going to be able to, like, you know, oh. What? What? Moogle Rampage. Thank you for the 5 donation to Children's Miracle Network. You know, it's Providence that you show up and throw that here. It's Providence that you show up and throw money at the charity stream. And the reason being is... Moonfell, Tides of Aether. This is technically Moogle's second game, but I played it first, and this is also one of the games where I have to say, God damn it, Moogle, you've got me hooked. Where the hell is the rest of the game? Give me the rest of the game. So this is a love letter. Same as some of the other ones that were going to appear on this stream and these reviews, but this game is absolutely a love letter to the first early days of sitting in front of your CRT TV, playing Final Fantasy or Dragon Warrior while sitting on the carpet, and, you know, having your room lit by that TV's light and nothing else. Combat is nice. You don't have to memorize monsters' weaknesses. It's got that lovely quality of life update where you can see the weakness after you figure it out. It's got wonderful combo attacks, harkening back to the early days of Chrono Cross. But all the graphics is definitely squarely in that NES era. And Moonfell, Tides of Aether also, there is a lot of good environmental storytelling in this game. And I am waiting for the rest of the damn game. Moogle, where the fuck's the rest of my goddamn game? So, I will sick Milton's Krusty Mayo Panties, God, I hate saying that name, on you, Moogle, if I don't get the rest of my game. Because there's also a whole bunch of awesome cool features like flanking that you can do by stunning the enemy with out-of-combat attacks and abilities. Or just pushing someone off a tower so that way you don't have to fight them. And again, it's so rare that I see those things, it makes them stand out that much more. Oh, now he speaks. Again, thank you for the $5 donation to Children's Miracle Network. But where's the rest of my game, Moogle? Where's the rest of this? Dang it, Moogle, don't make me crust you. Your game. It is my game. It's my childhood. It feels like my childhood. Give it back. I want to go back to those old days where I didn't have to pay bills. You know? But yeah. And let's see, what was after Moonfell? All right, it was another game that I feel like some people may disagree with me in regards to it being considered good. They may call it janky. They may call it weird. It's definitely something that sticks out because it doesn't follow the same formula in regards to a lot of other turn-based RPGs out there, especially RPG Maker games. But I still feel like it's good because it sticks out. When eggs don't cost you a few of your teeth and a kidney. I know, right? I miss those days. I miss those days because also back then, I could just put on my headset and play games while my parents screamed and yelled at each other, and I could ignore all of existence. But hey, I'm not going to go doing trauma dump on you guys. That's not why you're here. Plus, that's not fair to you. No one deserves that, and I told all that stuff to my therapist, and even she didn't deserve that. Whoop. Oh, why did it... Hold on. Here we go. Oh, it broke. Ah, Nightmarena. Now, I know some people are going to be kind of fussing at me for, marking it as a 5 out of 5. But this game here is actually interesting. It's an interesting game that, no, it does not allow you to take passive strategies. You have to be active. You have to pay attention. There's no putting your controller down at any point during combat. It's something you don't see very often. There's only been like 1 or 2 other games that I've played that actually force you to keep your hands on the controller at all times while still technically being turn-based. Because, yeah, it is turn-based. It's just timing between your turns and your opponents. And it's honestly rather smooth. Like, a lot of this is much smoother in the game, and it doesn't show as such on here, unfortunately. But then again, the guy who, recorded it and edited it together has the computer of a potato. But the fact that he was able to have a computer that is a potato to make something that's interesting and engaging, where you have to learn the patterns, fight the enemies, and essentially progress through a roguelike battler. That is interesting to me. Everything else about it, it's a little silly in some parts. I will admit that. But it's still interesting. You know what would make it better, though? If he'd actually released the goddamn game, because I've been waiting to beat it again. But hey, I guess we can't all be perfect. I mean, it was a little too easy for me. I messed a little bit up on the scaling of that one somehow. Not sure how I did that, but okay. Hopefully the next one works out if I have to do another. But still, no, you're supposed to suffer. I suffer all the time. I work in IT. A customer-facing IT department is pretty much what I have. And I suffer every day because of it. So, I will suffer as much as I want to, or as little as I want to. That being said, Nightmarena. I rated this one rather high because of, again, it's unique. It's different. There's a lot that goes on with this game compared to other ones. And honestly, it plays very well. So I can't argue with the fact that it is good. Again, some people might think otherwise, but they're wrong. So, it is what it is. Oh, hey, Plexi. I just realized I'm supposed to be in front of that, not behind it. It's Plexi, the guy who never got me the trailer. Dang it, Plexi. How am I supposed to talk about Relics of Aurelia? The fact that I scored it a 4 out of 5, same as Nightmarena, when you don't bring me a trailer. Huh? Trying to change my name to my favorite Mayo-hating streamer. Sorry, ROA is super low-key in terms of advertising at the moment. Plus, you missed him being stun-locked for the first 10 minutes. I don't know why Why you wish to bully me so? I mean, technically you're paying charity to bully me, so I guess that's a good use of money. Like, I can't argue with that, if that's the case. Because honestly, that is good. You know what? Yeah, I could put up with being bullied if it's for charity. Trying to make a whole new aesthetic together before I make any new big pieces of material. No. Joking aside, I have realized how much work you're putting into your game, and I don't fault you for that. Jumping away from the very standard RTP that you had been using over to using a custom build or custom graphics and such is a lot of work, and you are learning how to do it yourself. So you're doing good. And I understand it's taking you a while. It's part of the reason why I gave everyone who's being shown in this like a little over a month to get me materials. Bullying Ian for charity? Quick, empty the vaults. No! No, but yes, but no. I don't know how to respond to that because I want to raise money for charity, but at the same time, I don't feel like being bullied. Alright. So we're going to go actually to the first action RPG game in this review. It's not the only action RPG one, but it is the first. And it's also the only good one, in my opinion, compared to the other ones that I've played. I want to put that out. It does have a bit of faults, but we'll get to it. Ah, shit. No. Didn't scale right. No. So, Shadow Seeker. This game is very interesting. So, the game nails the atmosphere of a noir story with sound design alone. The visuals also nail this as well. It's really good. I mean, do you like Resident Evil? And I mean like the old Resident Evil games. This is it. The controls, it could use some work, to be honest. If you're using just keyboard, you have to do some weird crab claw shit and in order to be able to like run, use your knife, and so on. But the reason why I scored this a 4 out of 5 compared to the other ones is because you can play through it with the controller, and I want to say about 80% of everything you need to do can be done with the controller. So while it doesn't have full controller support, it has enough of controller support to make it viable to play. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, it literally is just running in the knife is the only things that you can't use with the controller, but everything else is there. Aiming, moving, shooting, accessing the menus, it's all there. And if you ignore that, everything else this game does is right. The atmosphere is on point. The map layouts and mapping is great. The mansion feels like a mansion that's been built by a paranoid madman, which again fits with the story because of, it's the whole Resident Evil inspired. This game has so much going for it. And Koopa Kush, the guy who made it, actually has a Kickstarter out right now in regards to this. So, if you want, definitely go give it a look. It's going to be worth your time, in my opinion. And I believe he gave me the link to share out. He did. Thank you, Koopa, for being so awesome. Nope, that didn't turn on. There it goes. Also, honestly, my guess would be the worst bullying we could do to Ian would be generally compliment and make him accept it. I do have imposter syndrome, so maybe. And also, thank you to Mana Relic Games for a donation to Children's Miracle Network. Another $5. We are definitely over the charity that we were doing. We were only going to do up to 100, but you guys decided, nah, fuck that, let's go 10 over. And honestly, again, I can only say thank you. But yeah, Shadow Seeker. It's the only action RPG game made in RPG Maker that I have played so far that I feel like actually does the action RPG well, and it's primarily due to the fact that it has proper or semi-proper controller support. Because again, there's like only 2 buttons that aren't mapped, but honestly, you can play the whole game without them. Let's get those numbers up for the children. Hey bird, welcome, welcome. The game is really good, and I feel like everyone should at least give it a try, because I believe the first chapter is up on itch for you to play through. Alright, so let's see. After Shadowseeker, oh, it's this game. Oh, boy. This game is... It touched me in places that I wasn't expecting, but not in a bad way. Can't stick around for much of the stream, dude. It's almost 2 a.m. here in Ireland, but happy to support. Mana Relic, it's always appreciated, and thank you for staying up and donating. We appreciate you, and honestly, thank you. And as always, if you've got RPG Maker games to throw in for review later on, send them over. I'll be more than happy to add them to the list. Show us on the doll where it touched you, honey. Unfortunately, it touched me in the heart, that thing that I thought was dead. So, Silver Daze. Yeah, this game. Holy shit, this game. So, the demo is great. Go play the demo. But if you're like me, and you were able to play a little bit of it early, before release, oh, God. This game is so fucking fun. I binge played this game. Like, I don't think I can explain how much I binge played this game. Because the second I got a full, like, playable version of it, I didn't stop playing. I just kept playing. And I ended up maybe possibly not sleeping a night or 2 because I kept playing. And I ended up messaging Sawyer friend. It's like, hey, I ran into a problem with your game. I beat it. And yeah. So he did mention that there might or will likely be things that are different from the version that I got from the full release that happens in just a few days. But Silver Daze, give it a go. It is worth your time and investment. It is so fun to play. The mechanics are solid, smooth. Never mind, the whole story is just a callback to a time when life was a little bit simpler, but you were always afraid of the future, because it does follow around primarily 3 characters of Pin, Geo, and Connie as they struggle with that uncertainty of the future, with Pin wanting to cling to the present, Connie wanting to blaze forward, and Geo just there for the fucking vibes. Yeah, sorry to this game. He did. Help back this game. Good stuff. It is. 90s? It's got some of it that's like a mix of the 90s and early 2000s. I don't think... I can't remember if it was actually set in a particular time period, but it does have like a weird mix, but at the same time, it's all sorts of familiar. Silver Daze is absolutely worth it, though. Whew. Oh, man. But like I said, I ended up binging that game too much, and I think I'm only missing like 2 achievements. So... It's a really fun game. Pretty awesome to approach these games. Oh, that's kind of the whole reason why I do the streaming. I'm here to essentially do a full playthrough and then essentially say, hey, this game was good. Here's my review of it. This is my critiques of it. This is my feedback as to what can be done better. And also at the same time, it's to showcase it to the community of like, hey, these are the games that are going around, and this is, you know, what you can see about them, or how I feel about them. I'm just a ranting, raving madman on the internet for some reason people pay attention to. And next is Soul Survivor: Trials of the Goddess. Oh, Soul Survivor. Golly, this was another game that ate so much of my fucking life. I've beaten it twice now, because the game is so freaking fun. And it's challenging, because there's some parts of it that kick your ass, because RNG fucking hates you. But, that being said, Soul Survivor has a very, very love letter feeling to the NES days of JRPGs, just like his other game, Moonfell Tides of Aether. Like I said, I played this one after playing Moonfell, but this one came first. And at first I thought, oh, it's not that long. And they would be roughly correct. The length of the game is not what truly defines the measure of this game, though. No, it's the amount of replayability. I've only beaten it twice, but you can go through this game multiple times, trying different combinations of classes, skills, items, and equipment, and you'll still not beat it. This fucking game pisses me off to the point that I keep playing it because I love it so damn much. So, like, seriously, the hell am I supposed to do? I can't just not finish a run, so I gotta try again. And again. And again. And again. And while this game doesn't have, like, the true save deleting mechanic like other roguelikes, it instead gives you, like, an honor system where you can delete your save and start over and continue, or continue from your save and keep going if you want, to try and, like, salvage the run or focus on a particular build or just to see the rest of the story. So it appeals to both the hardcores and the not hardcores. But damn it, is this game good, because again, it gives you lore in bite sizes sprinkled throughout in interactive ruin spots. So it's not just like forcing it down your throat or anything. It's, hey, do you want to play a roguelite for a couple hours? Yeah? Pick up this game. It's worth it. And all I have to say is, God damn it, Moogle, you did it again, you son of a bitch. Fucking perfect ass game. I'm calm. I'm calm now. I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm not pissed. I'm actually legitimately happy because, again, this game here is awesome. It's amazing. And it bothers me that I don't see as many like it. Roguelites, either true or not true, but still roguelites that have light on the story, but such high amounts of customization and replayability that you want to just keep go back, like, go and play again because, you know, you want to try a new build, you want to try a new combination, and so on. It's worth the time, it's worth the money. Go, give it a play. Oh, we're getting close to the end of the goods, though. There's only, like, a couple more. Now, I know I just mentioned earlier that I won't talk about trailers that I made. This is a trailer that I made, pulling stuff from it, and I wanted to do the same for a bunch of other games, but I honestly ran out of spoons, like mental spoons. So I ended up not doing it for all of the games, and that's on me. But it is what it is. Where's my transition thingy? Oh, piddles. Did I not make it? No, wait, I made that. I know I made it. I had to have made it. Oh, no, I didn't make it. Oh, no, I didn't make it. Oh, no, I didn't make it. Alright, I think this one's the right one. No, that's so much louder. Alright, Starscribed. Oh, boy, that's way louder than I said. See to make it streams over, folks. No! Starscribed. This game, made by our beloved Bird Bunch, who is somewhere in the chat, I believe. I saw him a moment ago. Is amazing. This game is a challenge, not because of unfairness, not because of any bullshit, but because it full-on tells you what it expects and does not accept anything less. There are no substitutions. You will do the proper commands, and if you don't, get fucked. Again, I love this game. The combat is fun, it's engaging, and you need to be on your toes for every turn. I vibe with it very well. And I tend to have the mentality of move or get hit when it comes to many action games, because either you get good and move out of the way, or you get hit. And Starscribed is essentially, it's that. Uh, so yeah, Starscribed. It's a 5 out of 5 game in my opinion. There's still a lot more to come, but you can go and play the first part of it. And apparently, many people found the game to be too hard, but honestly, that's probably because they didn't get good. It's and turn-based, but your turns are timing-based, and there's a lot of different mechanics that go into what abilities, what timing, and so on. I'm here just jogging. Oh, so Bird is here. He's just birding around, being the health nut that he is. You made the trailer? Skill issue. Yes, the trailer is the definition of a skill issue. Uh, Mostly because like I played through a lot of it and tried to get good recorded bits while also not trying not to fuck up was very difficult because I didn't want to show all of my failures against like any of the monsters that I fought against, and there were some. Like I'm not going to deny there were some because the game again challenges you. It expects perfection. It tells you how to get perfection, and it does not accept any excuses. Thank you for the hydrate. I did absolutely need that. Water. Wonderful water. But yeah, Starscribed. I can't wait to see the rest of the game. But I know Bird is working on getting updated graphics just the same as Plexi is because he wants to get new character art and character shoot, I forgot the word that I was looking for. Damn it, my Adderall is wearing off. But until then, all I can do is just keep playing the version that's out and keep enjoying it and trying to get better at it. Also, I'm gonna grow to hate the Cosmic Trials because there's a fucking hard mode. Sprites? Yes, that's the word. Thank you, Bird. I'm gonna grow to hate the Cosmic Trials because it progressively gets harder and it's fun. Damn it, Bird! Why'd you have to make it fun? Why'd you have to make it fun, Bird? Sitting here trying to work on other stuff, and all I can think of is like, you know, I can probably beat that boss if I try again. Yeah. I mean, I got kind of close, I think. I got him down to half health. I could totally beat him. Yeah, I could beat him. Let me boot up Starscribed and give it another try. Pissed me off. Oh. Alrighty. On to the next one. It is actually another one of the early games that I played for doing this whole thing. It's got a bit of soft spot in me for this, but well, let's just say that Moogle's not the only one who wrote love letters. Sword of Saints. This is by ABAC. This version that I particularly played is actually the updated graphics where he was trying to essentially move it away from RPG Maker 95. That's right, this game was originally made using RPG Maker 95. And the whole thing is a love letter to Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior games of the NES days. And there is no denying it. The art, the music, the themes, all of it the biggest sellers of the old school style that were custom made for this project. And honestly, it's straightforward combat and light storytelling keeps with that old school charm. A lot of this game, like I said, is being updated slowly but surely. Less surely, but slowly into using a newer engine where he's trying to upscale it into using RPG Maker MZ. However, that may take eternity as ABAC's more popular game has been taking a lot of his time. His more popular game, of course, being Miracle Girl Chiyoko. That's right, he went from making this to making a game about magical girls. And honestly, mood. I can get it. Apparently, that seems to be a running theme in the RPG Maker community, or at least what I keep playing. But yeah, Sword of Saints. It's another game that I rank as 5 out of 5 because of everything. Like I said, it's a love letter to the old days, to sitting on the carpet in front of your CRT TV and playing the latest Final Fantasy or Dragon Warrior, hoping to get a little bit further ahead each time you boot it up. And damn it, do I love trips down memory lane. It has a little bit of quality of life updates, but for the most part, it just hammers away at what made those old games good, and shows that even in today's age, those older retro style games and themes still hold true. And yeah, fingers crossed that he's able to get back to it, and that the magical girls don't hold him for all of eternity. But yeah, Sword of Saints. I have to say, as the second game that I ever played for the streams, it will always have a soft spot to me. Man, I hope one day he's actually able to finish the scale up to MZ. But, like I said, he plans on doing that, as whether or not he'll actually get to it, that is to be seen. Right. And the last of the good. The last game that is in the good category. These are, again, games that are perfect or near perfect, games that have set themselves out above and beyond the rest. Virgo vs. The Zodiac. This is not only a good game, it is also the most popular game that I played on my streams. And by that, I mean this game has more reviews on it on Steam than any of the other games that I've played. It is amazing. The graphics, the sound, the art, the controls, all of it. Everything about this game is amazing. And it's almost hard to believe that this was made in RPG Maker MV back in 2019. But it was. The art has a very simple but colorful 8-bit sprites from near an overworld, but the combat expands it slightly more detailed and fully animated sprites that have a pixel look. And then there's these cutscenes. Look at this. The hand-drawn art that's in those cutscenes adds to the charm and feel of it. Yes, it's another magical girl game. I don't know how I keep getting them on my streams, but I do. But all of this, it's amazing. And I've only said this about a few games. The combat alone can sell this game with how smooth and intuitive it is. It is also very engaging, where it's not just a one-button press, but rather timed events that require perfect timing for better hits or added effects. There is so much customization for each of the characters you play. It is absolutely a really, really good game. And it even has challenge modes where you can essentially push yourself to see how far you can go. The story is well written, and there's even in-story reasons for certain interactions, bonus content, and bonus dungeons for you to help grind up levels in between. And none of it felt required, but all of it felt enjoyable. It is absolutely a very professional game, in my opinion, Bird, because of how well it does every aspect of it. But yeah. Whew. Oh man, I've done a lot of talking. Oh wait. I actually stuck a game in the wrong box. There is one more game that I accidentally skipped for the good category, because I stuck it in the wrong spot. Whew. Definitely looks super polished. It was And like I said, it's one of those games that you can keep going back and playing more and more because it only took me about like 18-ish hours to beat, but it was very interesting and very fun to play. And the fact that there is extra content that I still haven't gotten to, it just shows that they put a lot of work into it. But yeah, I accidentally stuck a game in the wrong spot, and I just saw the recording for it. So that way, it's not a pre-record, but it is a trailer. Let me see if it will cooperate. Yes. Alrighty. So this is... It was supposed to go earlier, but somehow I mixed it up with another spot. Scarlet Record. This is another one of the games that had a long demo, about 6 or so hours long, and in the time of playing the demo, I've gotten to see just how much work went into this. Yes, it's using the basic RTP for a lot of stuff, but it's got this weird filter over it that makes it stand out a little bit more. And they are working on better mappings. That being said, this is the other game that combat alone could sell this game. It is very, very polished when it comes to combat, with the animations, the sounds, the management of resources, the overall feel of it. And each character has their own unique styles of attacks, where I still love Hazel's shell jockey ability, where she just launches herself across and, you know, smacks into the enemy. The music is great and is good enough on its own as well to just kind of like put in there and like vibe in the background. But again, the combat alone is where all of the polish went into, and it's very apparent to see that. And honestly, the only cons I had about this game when I played it were two things. One was a very minor, annoying, there's no take-all option for the chests. But the real problem was death by tutorials. There was a lot of heavy tutorials early on that they are working on improving upon when they do the full release of the game. So we can only see how that is when that comes out. But the rest of this? The rest of it's great. The story's rather interesting. You've got a number of characters that bring their own uniqueness to the story as well as to combat and so on. And again, it's magical girls, and say what you want. I know what I'm about. Don't judge me. This is the part-time experience show. I'm the one who judges. Alright? But yeah. With everything, though, the pros definitely outweigh the cons, and that's the reason why I put this one as a 4.5 out of 5. And still a must-play. And when it becomes the full release and they release the updated maps and everything, I can assure you I'm going to be one of the first ones in line buying my copy. What was it? Inspired by Luna? I have no idea. I honestly do not know. But it is definitely a game that sets itself out and shows how much work went into every bit of it. Maybe I should have gotten more water. Whew. Golly. So yeah, that's all of the goods. That's all of the good games. I think. Hold on. Yes, that's all the good games. That's all of the good ones. Now, we're going to go over to the aspiring. And we're going to actually start with a pre-record of the first game that I played here for all of these streams. So, here we go. Aether Chromatica. This game here has a special place in my heart. And it's not because it's good. It's actually, honestly, a 3.5 out of 5. It's the best way I can put it. And that seems kind of good, but at the same time, on the grand scale of things, it's not. So, I'm going to be honest. This game is good in its own way. It's not great because you can see they use basic RTP and a lot of the basic sounds, all that jazz, but that's not what makes it good. So, looking past that, the game has a lot of the same normal beats an RPG would when it comes to story and design, and in no form do I think that's a bad thing. My initial thoughts were that it was going to be a very standard, basic RPG, and I was right. And while it is an example of the most commonly seen and used plugins that have been pervasive through the RPG community, I will be honest, that's not what makes the game interesting to me. I do not consider any of the stuff that I have listed as bad. It's just, it doesn't stand out. But what does stand out and what I feel like gives it the potential is the story. The character Nikolai, or just Nick, has a rather relatable personality and view on situations. It's obvious he's not the brightest of the bunch, but he's willing to throw himself against it in order to pull the people he cares about through. And honestly, I feel like that's what helps make the game good and worth looking at in the future. Whew, boy, Aether Chromatica. Yep, it's in my opinion perfect for starting out the whole aspiring. It's very obviously uh, the developer's first RPG Maker game, and honestly, it can't I can't fault him too much for that. But that being said, in retrospect, the game just has a very special spot to me because again, it was the first game that I streamed for doing games for RPG Maker, and yeah, it's not great. It's aspiring. It's trying. It just needs new coat of paint and maybe a bit more work. But I believe it could definitely get there. I wasn't sure if I heard inspiring or aspiring. Wanted to make sure. Yes. LOL, Mike. Yeah, I had myself muted for a moment. Look, I'm not perfect. I've never said that I was perfect. All I said that I was a ranting, raving madman who, for some reason, has been given a microphone and some whiskey. Or is this rum? This is rum. Anyways, hydrate. Yes. Water. The aspiring category is pretty much everything from average to goodish. They're not great. They're not stand out, blow your pants off, wonderful. They're good. Maybe okay. Maybe average. Maybe make you want to. Not that. That is more for the wall of shame. Thank you very much. The sad trombone is for the wall of shame. We have not gotten to that one yet. That's after the aspiring. Alright? We'll be very clear about that. FBI, open up! Oh, God! One of these days, the FBI are going to owe me new eardrums. Oh. Alright. Alright. Dungeon Rummage Survival. This game. Huh. So, it's one of those games that haunted my dreams for a short time due to the music that constantly plays in the background. Yeah, it's going to be there for all of eternity now that I think about it, but it is what it is. Rescale that. So this is a cozy kind of game that you play. Something you pick up to kill in an hour or two. There's no real major story. There's nothing super special about it. There's some secret areas that pop up from time to time to get some extra materials, special enemies you gotta catch and slay for bonus goods. But all together, even with the simplistic combat, it's all about getting gear or getting supplies to make better gear to reach to the bottoms of the dungeon. And that's kind of it. It's roughly, like I said, about 2 hours ish. That's all it's about. It's not standoutish or standouting in any real aspect, but it's good for what it says it's for. It's good for grabbing it and killing an hour or two. So for that part, I really couldn't fault it too hard because, well, it's really just fight, gather, die, gather some more, and it tells you that. It doesn't falsely advertise, but it doesn't stand out compared to anything else. Don't summon Harls. Oh, come on, don't be like that. Harlequin's okay. He's grumpy, though. Alright, and he's grumpy because he's German. But don't worry, we'll go ahead and get his other game out of the way. Because, yeah, there's 2 games that he made on this. The other one's Tiki's Escape. It is, well, it's interesting. I don't really like this tutorial, or not tutorial, trailer, because of the voiceover. But still, Tiki's Escape is another one of the Dungeon Rummage series. He's working on Dungeon Rummage Origins, but this was just a game he popped out, and it's again another roughly 2-hour game. Combat is rather straightforward with a decent strategy of building your bots to do most of the work for you, meaning as you progress through, you start taking on more of a support role to the real damage dealers that are your robots, and you spend your resources to refill or repair them while they take the damage for you. So exploration is definitely key to get those needed gears and blueprints and so on. And I'm also really glad that exploration is not only encouraged, it's almost needed because of the fact that there are hidden rooms that have the good stuff in it. Sadly, much like the other Dungeon Rummage game, it's too damn short, honestly. Sure, it's a $3 game, and I should be demanding more for what I got, but the fact remains that because comparatively, this feels like a taste of something that's to come. It feels like there should be more story coming after it, but there just hasn't been. And again, I know he's working on Origins, which may or may not pick up after this. I unfortunately don't have enough information to say one way or the other. It's interesting, but it's very light on everything because, again, it's only a 2-hour game. And then there's also some of the art styles are not really matching up, which is always a concern. Well, at least the music isn't hauntingly repetitive like it is with the Dungeon Rummage Survival. God, that one beach sound music is going to forever haunt me when I close my eyes at night, thinking of things. It's going to stay with me for all of eternity, and there's no helping me, for there is no God. But yeah, like I said, it's an aspiring. It's not great. It doesn't quite lie about what it's for or what it's trying to do. It's just, it doesn't feel like it's reaching beyond what it could do. It feels like it's just reaching to a arbitrary point and staying right there, like it shouldn't reach any further. And I feel like that's part of the problem. Tiki's was really good, it looked like. It was definitely better than Survival. But, like I said, I don't know. I still feel like the game could have done more. But, knowing Harlequin, he was putting it out to put it out, and then focus more on his main project. Alright, so next is... Oh, it's another one of the weird games. Fablebond, Project 5. If anything, I have to say, like, the characters in this are amazing. Especially, you know, well, the main character and how he interacts with his friends. That being said, this game is interesting. Like, weirdly interesting. The design of everything has a very nice feeling to it. But at the same time, it stands out with its looks and bits of humor that make you mentally stumble for a second, but never long enough to detract from what's going on. Story-wise, it's a boy coming of age, but at the same time, it feels like there's 2 different realities going on at one time. There's no real clear indicator if one timeline is real or if another one is real. If one is a fantasy or one is a dream. or what's going on. There was supposed to be more that was pushed out for Fablebond, but the developer is from Chile, and I believe he is moving it to a new engine in general, to where it's going to be taking on a whole new feel and look. But he's going to do his best to kind of keep with the story, which I have to say, again, is amazing. But there are some issues with the game, which tends to be, again, the English, because English isn't his main language. But also there is, like, the world layout doesn't sometimes doesn't make sense. Like, I think at one part you were, like, trying to go through a forest to get to school, but the way that the forest would have technically gone, you wouldn't have wound up at the school, so it didn't make any damn sense to me. So yeah, it's like stuff like that. They're remaking the game in a different engine. Oh, he just said that. Yeah. Looks rad. Very Undertale coded. Definitely is. But also, like, again, the game itself is very interesting, and once they're able to polish it up more and push it over to a new engine, we'll see what they do. But for the most part, it's it's interesting. Huh. All right, Apple Fablebond. It was. Oh yeah, it was the double feature. Oh man, talk about summoning people. I wonder if this will summon him. So let's get this one going. Another pre-record. Ah, Starshift. Both Origins and Rebellion. They're pretty much the same game. They're both the same game, really. Uh, Everything that made Starshift Origins is also present in Starshift Rebellion. It's the same systems, same graphics, same mechanics. While a sequel, it doesn't switch things up, so I kind of just combine them into one review. That being said, the first thing anyone is going to notice about and speak out about is the use of AI in these games. Yes, both use AI primarily for art when it comes to the number of characters and making some of the JavaScript plugins, from my understanding, but at the same time, I would like to be very clear about something. I do not like AI at all. And I'm putting my dislike of AI aside to essentially do the playthroughs and reviews when it comes to these games. Both games score, in my opinion, a 4 out of 5. They are good, but mostly because of everything that they do right and not of their sins for using AI. So, hear me out. There is a complaint about the lack of tutorials and the whole choice paralysis that happens with all of the, well, junk in regards to the tech trees and skill trees. Well, junk isn't probably the proper term. You get a bit of choice paralysis when it comes to the skills because there's just so many damn skills that you can choose for each individual character, and the fact that your party consists of 7 characters, that's 7 skill trees you're constantly going to have to go through and try and build with to find the best strategy. And depending on what your party is comprised of, well, it's going to be different. But another major complaint tends to be that it doesn't feel like there is enough character given to a lot of the characters in it to where none stand out as the main character, but it is rather a group of primary characters. And probably could be solved with more time behind each, but it is what it is. That being said, again, most any you're going to complain about is the AI. But setting that aside, it has a really good vibe with it and a very big sci-fi feel. Story-wise, the games are interesting. I was rather interested for both Origins throughout the 6 hours that I played it, and Rebellion, the I think 12 or 13 hours that it took me to beat it. I was invested. It was an interesting story, and I feel like that's what really helps these games be better than what people think. Yes, there are bugs and such, but the dev is going back through and fixing them, which is great. But for the most part, my score is not going to change on these games ever. It's still going to be a 4 out of 5. Hire a goddamn artist. Oops, wrong one. Ah, yeah. But yeah, it's always going to be 4 out of 5, hire a damn artist for the Starshift games. Starshift Origins and Starshift Rebellion. As mentioned, I set my dislike of AI aside for that particular series of games, and I will never really defend the use of AI. I know that there are parts where, or times where it is acceptable to use it to essentially help you polish something or supplement a part of your own skill that you're missing, but some other times it's just mostly going to be, yeah, just hire an artist. Hire someone that can help, or work out a deal with someone that can help. Because I still hate AI. I work with it enough during my day to know what it does and what it's like, and I don't like any of it. That being said, as mentioned, the game does stand out for well enough on its own merits in regards to its story and everything else that it does when it doesn't use the AI. And yeah, honestly, I feel like it's pretty good. It, however, like I said, is bogged down by its own sins, and putting that aside, it's also bogged down by the skill trees that are extensive. The lack of tutorials really doesn't help, considering like you open the skill tree and everyone's got some basic skills that are similar between each of them, but then they have maybe class or racial skill trees also on top of that, and the whole yeah, go build it yourself, jackass, doesn't really help. Data centers polluting the land doesn't help either. Oh, absolutely, I fucking hate them. I'm really glad that the county I live in uh, voted and opted against having one in our county, and the county commissioner was like, but it'll bring so many jobs. But the rest of us like, we don't want our bills to go up, and we like having clean drinking water. No, send that shit somewhere else. So it's now going in, I think, 4 counties over, which, fine, I don't care. It's not near me. But at the same time, I wish they would go away in entirety. I get that they're useful, but at the same time, the use of them does not outweigh the cost to not only the environment but the economy. But yeah, Starshift Origins and Rebellion, putting aside my hate for AI, it could do better if it had less AI and more actual artists putting work into it. Other than that, the story, like I said, it's good, it's interesting. Definitely a good use of time travel, which is also rare for me to say because I actually tend to not really like time travel and in a lot of stories. It's actually because normally data centers are perfectly safe, but the AI craze has made people just build them fast and badly. Uh, kind of, yes. Also, no. I'm not going to go into it on this stream. Perhaps another stream, F-Zero. But there's like a lot that I know about the AI data centers and just how bad corporate greed is. I could probably dedicate a whole rant to them, but I'm not going to. Not this time around. Maybe later if I still have energy after the last of the Wall of Shame, and if not, then definitely on another stream. But for now, let's talk about the next game, which honestly is not a bad game, but it could do better. Tower Song. This game, I was intrigued by it because a lot of the sound in regards to it was interesting. That music that goes on in the background is rather haunting. And I, for one, love that. But Tower Song does have some aspects working against it. They put a lot of money and effort into these animations over for attacks and abilities and so on. However, the flaring animations of the screen lead you to believe that there will be more. It's a bit of a psychological thing. When these attacks are hitting, I kind of expect that there'll be something that changes on the PNG, on the image of who they got hit, which they don't. Instead, they remain rather static throughout. And this is seen in the older 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit retro games, but because this game uses a lot more higher definition graphics, you kind of expect more to happen with these PNGs of, well, the monsters. But nothing does. There's also the fact that combat has an issue where it can sometimes go on unnecessarily long or blazing fast. So it's kind of a scaling and balancing issues, because there was sometimes I went into combat and I wiped out the enemy team in 1 to 2 actions. But then the combat right after it took me several turns because of bullshit. Heck, there was one time I was getting frustrated near the end of the game because I was stun locked for 2 to 3 rounds because the enemy kept spamming stuns, and it stunned all 3 of my characters repeatedly. And others just have a, every 2 to 3 rounds, it's just going to do an AoE damage or shield, or some of them do heal, shields, and AoE damage every turn. And it's infuriating because, again, it's not properly balanced. But at the same time, the game has a lot of potential in the fact that there's high amounts of replayability. You choose a different champion every time you go through. And at the same time, though, you're sometimes missing out on things, and it feels like it's annoyingly pointed out to you that, oh, you could have gone down this path, or, oh, you could have gotten that chest over there if you chose a different champion, but you didn't. So the only way you're going to know what's over there and know whether or not it's even worth going for is if you go and choose the other champion that's needed to get through to it. And I was like, are you kidding me? On the bright side, this game does one of the things that few other games does, and that is this game right here does milestone levels versus grinding for EXP. It's rare that it's seen. Now, I know Bird's game doesn't have grinding for levels, but this game does have levels. It's just that you get them by, well, going through the story and doing certain achievements. But for the most part, it's just that. You can honestly get to the end of the game with minimal combats. And, yeah, it's not bad. But at the same time, it feels like it falls short of a lot of things that it sets you up to expect. You expect, more from the combat, considering how many flaring animations are going on constantly. But it just kind of falls short instead. I remember this starts out strong, but slows down a lot near the end. Yep, that's pretty much it. It started out strong. The music, the story, everything. But then near the end, it just kind of felt like half steps. And I'm not entirely sure as to why. Whew. And then there was one last of the Aspiring. Who wants to take bets as to what it is? Anyone? Anyone? Anyone know what the last of the Aspiring is? Bets going once, twice, 3 times. Well, you're too late. It's Yggdrasil Chronicles, a Record of Valkadia, the game that honestly takes the win for the longest name of a game that I've reviewed so far. Seriously, I compared it. The second longest is Meta Revelations, Armour of the Abyss. This one, though, beats it out. But only in the length of name. Mechanics-wise, it's a rather straightforward JRPG game with the combat. However, it does have interesting mechanics where some spells have dual purpose, such as healing allies or dealing damage to enemies. But the problem also comes from the complexity of some of this stuff, such as the ability Voodoo Cure, which is one of the first ones you get, and it's how you primarily heal your party. So the spell literally states, restores HP to one ally by an amount of 50 plus 2 times your magic attack bonus. If target's HP is lower than 50%, it will get extra HP recovery equal to 10% of its max hit points, but consumes extra MP equal to 10% of the target's missing HP. If the user's MP is lower than the target's mentioned missing HP, the effectiveness of extra HP recovered is lowered respectively. If the target is an undead or an enemy, deals 100% of your magic attack as darkness damage to it. It can be cast on either ally or enemy. That's a lot of fucking words. I'm going to say right now. That is a lot of fucking words for something like this. So in short, it means it heals better when your target is at lower health, but it costs you more to heal them. So don't heal them if they're at lower health. And it also means don't use it on an enemy, especially if they resist darkness, because it's not going to do as much damage comparatively. So it's not really worth to cast on an enemy. And this is just one of the examples of the mechanics going to a needlessly complex level. Character Lucia is much worse in my opinion, because you're supposed to combine two of her abilities in order to properly heal at the cost of a chunk of your hit points, which is not worth, in my opinion, because of the I'm sacrificing hit points by a large margin to heal myself. Congrats, I get targeted next and I die, therefore I just helped the boss or enemy kill me. Great. Now, the other two major pain points of this game, it pretty much comes down to two things. First, the tutorials. I'm sure some of you who were there for that first stream remember me screaming into the void and everything about the first fucking hour. The first fucking hour of my life on this stream doing tutorials. I spent an hour doing tutorials. Anyways, so the dev has thankfully gone back and fixed this to the point that you can skip over them. But for the most part, still, the tutorials were needlessly too long and too in-depth. And I pointed this out to them later on that, you know, you can skip a lot of the tutorials by properly designing and just making an NPC kind of gently nudge the players to double check things, or hey, have you tried looking at this screen or doing this? Give it a quick try and see what happens. Because then the players would be like, oh yeah, that's probably a good idea, I'll go check. And in regards to the other pain point, it's story. The story jumps, or in some cases sprints, through sections of development character-wise or narratively, where it can honestly be hard to keep up as to how much time has passed, what is being spoken about, and there are times where it also feels like the main character Morgan is a little bit of a Mary Sue with worrying levels of blind trust or blind mistrust with no real reason given for either. And it's kind of annoying, really. But honestly, with that, combined with the pacing issues between map scenes where there's no real proper transitions between leaving town and arriving in a desert, the game just feels painfully average, unfortunately. It's not terrible. It's not to the point that it's irredeemable. It certainly can be redeemed if it had a lot of work done to it and improved upon it. But yeah, it's unfortunately, this game is just rather average. It's not terrible, but it's not standing out and making itself great either. So it just kind of gets in its own way. Hello, Moogle. Welcome back. So that is the end of the Aspiring. The games that essentially went above, but not beyond, I guess is the best way to put it. They still have a lot ahead of them. They have a lot of work that's ahead of them. And yeah, I'm sure one day they'll get it. Maybe. Hopefully. We'll see. Fingers crossed. But, you know. So, next up is, well, it's the Wall of Shame. Before the previews, we're going to do the Wall of Shame. And the Wall of Shame is just that. Games that should be shamed. Well, not should be shamed, but they're... Okay, so the Wall of Shame has two kind of things in it. There are games that are unrepentant. They're just bad. couldn't get into them because of numerous unfortunate issues with them. And then there's one game that I feel like it does deserve a second chance, and one day I will get to it. But until then, it's on the Wall of Shame. And we're going to start with...
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
No, I don't. I took a shower earlier. Anyways. Aside from this guy being oh so rude, here's the first game for the Wall of Shame. Azarine Heart. And I am kind of upset, honestly, that this game is on here, because there's a lot I saw for it that made me think this game was going to be good. The game has an interesting basis for a plotline. It has the potential to be something good, but that is also what kills it for me. My first gripe, there is no real controller support. You can do conversations and dashing with the controller, but nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. And this is an action RPG. That is also the other gripe with it. As mentioned with Shadow Seeker, you can do about 80 to 90% of the game without ever using the keyboard and the two buttons that are on it. Azarine Heart, on the other hand, has absolutely no controller support whatsoever other than moving and talking to people. Everything else, you have to use the keyboard, and it's fucking horrendous controls, because it was made in an engine that has horrendous controls. RPG Maker, especially the older ones, is not meant for action RPGs. And this game is a great example as to the reason why you should never make an action RPG in RPG Maker, especially the older systems. So, my primary gripe is the two-parter about combat. As it is a major thing in the game. No matter what difficulty, you can skip random encounters in the overworld simply by mashing the dodge key, which causes you to backstep. Meaning you can travel from one side of the map to the other by mashing the dodge key and only stopping to change directions, and you will not once encounter a single random encounter because your backstep dodge does not count as a step. Meaning you can literally go from one side of the map to the other with no encounters. I did it on stream just to prove it. The second part of the gripe is, while I do love action RPGs, since the system is not made for it, the responsiveness that you would need to do in order to use the crab-like awkward controls to be able to properly combat things, you would have to severely slow down your response time in order to fight something, and you are still going to get mauled to death because the computer is not limited in the amount of inputs per second you can do that it can do compared to what you can do. Because of the combats and controls alone, that almost killed the game for me completely. But what did kill the game for me was the story. The main story. While I did try some of the side quests that were honestly very lackluster early on, the main story itself feels very underwhelming. And I do mean very underwhelming. Because when it starts out, it tells you to ask the locals, and through a few dialogue options with the right NPC, it will eventually tell you to go to one of 3 different cities: Eastwatch, Oak Cross, or Blackmark. And guess what? You don't get any other fucking direction until then. It's pretty much like, hi, welcome, fuck off, go away, and then off you go. You have to choose one of the 3 cities to go to in order to continue anything at all. I ended up going to Oak Cross, as it was closer, where I talked to more NPCs, before one told me, in particular, where to go next. Where I talked to more NPCs, where again, one told me to go all the way to Eastwatch to talk to a different NPC, halfway across the fucking map. And once I got there, you know what happened? They gave me a book. You know what the book told me? Fuck you. Deliver it back to Oak Cross to the person who told me to go to Eastwatch. who then tells me to go take a nap so that way I can then go back to Eastwatch to find a scholar in the Mages Guild to translate the fucking book that I just fucking got. Who designs this shit? So, I bet you're wondering, who in the Mages Guild am I going to ask? Fuck if I know, because guess what? It doesn't tell you. It doesn't tell you. No. It just says, go to the Mages Guild. Asks for someone who can translate the book. I talked to every NPC available, every single one of them, and not a single one says, oh, you need a scholar. Second floor, their name is blah, blank, whatever. Like, you work and live with these assholes, and you can't be bothered to roughly know who does what or who might not know. Ugh. I understand wanting players to explore your open world, but there is limits. Morrowind was kinder in its designs of how to do quests than this shit. And Morrowind didn't give you a fucking compass. It just gave you a journal entry that told you, go to Vivek, talk to so-and-so. And you had to go and fucking find them in Vivek. But at least they gave you the option to talk to NPCs and ask them for fucking directions. This game, on the other hand, doesn't even give you that kindness. Not even in the slightest bit. So yeah, Azarine Heart, I never finished. And because of everything, I wanted to finish it. I wanted to play it more, but I just fucking could not be asked enough. So it got marked as an unfun 2 out of 5. And because of that, it got slapped onto the wall of shame. MMO designer designed it. Everyone has MMO brain and open world brain. It's bad. It's unfortunately bad that people design games like that and not realizing how much work goes into those games. And how much work goes into essentially making them ready. But Azarine Heart didn't piss me off as much as the next game. And that's saying a lot. Because Azarine Heart pissed me off a fair amount. But it didn't piss me off the most. Chronicles of Veldoria. This game, I not only gave a second chance, I gave detailed feedback to the developer. This game here does not deserve any fucking love. Especially considering the dev has upped the price on it and moved it to Steam. That's right, he upped the price on it again. This is the lowest scoring game I have ever made at a 1 out of 5. It is a death by 1,000 cuts. There is so much wrong with it in regards to eventing, to jankiness controls, to lackluster story, lackluster dialogue, lackluster everything. Hell, chunks of the story doesn't even make any fucking sense. Between the whole janky, stilted interactions between everything and everyone, the tiling mapping is still broken, and you can now scan enemies, but if you do it on a certain, if you use the item to scan it on certain enemies, it either doesn't work, or if you use it on your last turn, it just breaks the fucking game. And some events will trigger without telling you who, what, when, or where you need to go, and all you hear is just, help me, constantly, with this constant blaring sound of someone getting the shit kicked out of them. And not to mention all the combats are heavily unbalanced to where all it does is just beat the shit out of you or just rolls over for you for farting in their direction. This game pissed me off because I gave it a second chance and the dev turned around and jacked up the price and put it on Steam and labeled it, oh, it's still early access, but he hasn't fixed shit. So yeah, Chronicles of Veldoria. This game deserves a big ol' 1 out of 5, alright, right here. Fuck this game. It will forever be at the bottom of the wall of shame where it belongs. Right next to the urinal. But now comes a story Unfortunately, I don't have the trailer for it. Did I make the thingy for it, though? Did I make the thingy for it? Because there isn't a trailer for it. Yeah, there's this thingy for it. This game, Valkyrie Star Ultima. I didn't beat this game. It's another DNF, did not finish piece of crap because the whole fighting mechanics doesn't fucking work. It tells you exactly what you need to do, but the mechanics don't work. It's like, oh, use the slash, then the shoot, then the other ability in combination with it. The only problem is slash only works in columns 1 and 2. Shoot only works in columns 3, 4, and 5. You can't do both at the same turn, but you have to for the abilities to work. It's janky. It's a mess. None of the side quests work. And all of it's severely unbalanced to where if you do try and start differently like I did, because I thought, oh, maybe I just did it wrong. Maybe I did the wrong one in order. Maybe I should have done someone else's first. No, it all sucks. It's all terrible. It's all unfinished and broken, and combat is just fucking horrible for it because, again, a number of abilities don't actually work because you can't actually do them. So yeah, Valkyrie Star Ultima, DNF. It also goes down there with Chronicles of Veldoria right next to the urinal. So yeah, that's my thoughts and feelings of that one. We're going to move on before I start screaming. Because this one is actually one that I feel like it's on the wall of shame, but I don't feel like it fully deserves to be there. And I feel like it's on the wall of shame more as shame on me than shame on the developer. Because I played the game, and I didn't finish it, but I played it shortly after I played Azarine Heart. And the problem with that is both are action RPGs, and they both suffer from the same thing. The controls are bad, but the controls are better comparatively to Azarine Heart. It's still an action-based, it still jumps around, and you still try your best, but it's at least more responsive than Azarine was. But there's still a lot of it that, unfortunately, is just fucking difficult to do. And, like I said, there is the fact that it's on here more of shame on me, because I do need to go back and play it, because it deserves a second try. Unfortunately, when I first played it, it was right after Azarine Heart, and it just it tried, but it definitely needs better controller support, like many of the other action RPGs. And it's one of the reasons why I constantly tell people, please, 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 do not make action RPGs, and if you do, give them actual fucking controller support. Is this one older than Azarine Heart? Yes. Azarine Heart came out in July 19th, 2024. Twell came out in March 21st, 2023. So it's got like a year difference between the two. Almost a year difference. But the main issue stems from the fact that Twell, Azarine Heart, even Shadowseeker are all action RPG maker games, in an engine that doesn't do action RPG very well. And that's the biggest flaw with them. But again, I feel like Twell deserves another go. And I do plan on giving it another go. So for now, it's on the wall of shame, but more of a shame on me, not a shame on the developer. So, we'll look at that. That being said, that is it for the reviews. We have been through almost every game that I played. There are some games that I didn't mention or have reviews written for, but they are ones that I enjoyed and ones that I wanted to essentially bring a bit of light to. Because there were games like, here we go, The UFO Knot by Hyoto? I don't know how to say that one. I'm going to throw that in chat. The UFO Knot was very interesting. It was made for the RPG Maker 2025 Game Jam. There was also The Copper Knight by Melon Kid. Also, a really, really good game. King's Tactics Dark Reign by The Last Samurai. I'm sorry, The Last Yuri Samurai. Richard Can't Win by Patriot Programmer. Project Robot by Pixel Eric Official. And Dine in Dungeon by Louis. These were all games made in the RPG Maker 2025 Game Jam. These were all games that were amazing to play, amazing to essentially just spin the wheel and pick up. And I kind of wish that I had written reviews for them back then. But they were made for a Game Jam, so I didn't. But looking back, I feel like those games deserve more attention because, well, I hope the developer pushed out more and essentially made more of those visions that they had. That being said, let's get into the previews. So, we've got a few games that are essentially in the coming up. We hope that they come out soon so that way we can play them. But I guess we'll see. So, the first one on the list is... Oh, here it is. It's Dungeon Rummage Origins. Dungeon Rummage Origins, the game that Harlequin's been working on for quite some time. Supposedly. I say supposedly because I think he took a break to play League with Bird and so on. Well, maybe not Bird in particular, but just play League in general. That being said, it's a game that he's definitely been working on for some time, and it's interesting to see if all of the hard work that he's put into his other games pays off, and he's able to make something of quality here. Only time will tell, though, and I believe there is a playable demo out now that I technically was supposed to play at some point. But I guess we'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, that was Dungeon Rummage Origins, and I believe he's working on the Kickstarter from the looks of it. It's not too bad. That's good to hear. Alright, so this one comes next. And it's Valen's game, actually. Dungeon Rummage Origins is timing based, no EXP. Ah, I wonder if he took a page from your book, Bird. Damn, this weird. Here, looking at this now, and keep working on it. Just months look very different. Yeah, I have to say though, you've always had some really good, interesting sprite work from especially where you've posted in Plexi server, but also where I've seen you post elsewhere. And the trailer itself is very interesting. And not to mention, again, since I have a love of retro RPGs, especially those that harken back to the days of the NES, SNES, and so on, I'm excited to give it a try, especially considering it is coming up. Remember, you are going to have a updated version in time for Wednesday, right? Right, Valen? You're gonna have an updated version, right, Valen? I'm sure you'll do fine. I'm sure you'll do fine. Next one is maybe it's not good enough.
He wants to live forever.
We will give whatever it takes to save Orphania and all who inhabit it, even if it costs us our lives. We choose life with all its facets, and that includes death.
What is this?
A lay portal.
Where does it lead to?
To another world.
Our city is known for its beautiful water canals. Travelers come from everywhere to admire them at night.
You come from a world where people are able to weave magic?
Do not touch me.
We gave everything we had, but it wasn't enough.
I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I honestly didn't expect that.
What's happening?
You better look for yourself.
Be a part of the Chronicles.
I still have a problem with live action, voice acting, and a lot of these games. That was Leyline Chronicles 2. That's up and coming, and yeah, I guess we'll see. We will see. We will see when we see. We see when we see. We will see. See? You see? I think I'm losing my mind. I'm probably losing my mind. It does look awesome, though. You're right, Valen. It does absolutely look awesome. And, yeah. Where's the other one? Ah, there it is. This one is from the same developer who made beloved Rapture, Blind. And this is in regards to Robot Rhapsody, his next work that he's doing. Oh, man. Every time I watch that, I get so excited. Because, again, that's from the same person, or the same team that made beloved Rapture. And That game was amazing. And I can only expect that this game, Robot Rhapsody, will also be amazing. There is so much going into it, so much work that's going into it. I get excited. And I'm doing one last double check, and I believe that is all the Hold on. Why is that in the previews? Crap baskets. Crap. Guys, I fucked up. There is a game I missed. I have the trailer for it, but I didn't edit things for the review. But I have the trailer for it. Why? You know what? That's on me. That's on me. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just play it now, and I'll talk about it now. ADHD strikes again. It really does. Ororis. This game, let me turn that volume down just a smidge, because that's fucking loud compared to me. Alright, so, I have a hard time saying the name of this game, because it's just fucking hard for me to say. Alright, I have a speech impediment, leave me alone. Anyways, Ororis. This game is actually, well, it's in the aspiring category. The reason being is that it has a lot that's going for it, and sometimes it feels like it's got too much going for it at one time. When I initially played it, it had the whole death by 1,000 cuts going for it, but it's also gotten better since my initial playthrough. I've been going back and forth with Vovexis, also known as Portispectus, in regards to this game. The game's one true consistency is sometimes how inconsistent it could be. But again, that was back then. Now, though, the game has gone through a lot of work and has gotten better in regards to writing, the cutting out of the AI art, and so on. But there's still some issues with it, and primarily the fact that when it comes down to Ororis, the loot's randomized, and honestly, it's not always great. You also get upgrade cards, which is a neat idea, but it's also randomized. There's a lot of loot boxes and gambling kind of, mechanics in regards to this, and you have to go essentially through an animation every time you open one, and it's kind of time consuming, which is kind of a nitpicky, but it's cool the first 2 or 3 times, but after it starts getting annoying. But honestly, the biggest thing is that there is a lot of stuff that still needs balancing, such as combat-only items and field-only items. There are 2 different resurrection potions, one for combat, one for in-field. Now, I've been going back and forth with the developer in regards to this, and they're at least in agreement that there are some rebalancing stuff that's needed. So, I mean, hey, at least they're also aware of the things that need to be fixed. But overall, comparatively, when I first played the game, I marked it as a 2 out of 5. It's got a lot of potential, but it has a death by 1,000 cuts. Now, though, I would say it's closer to a 3.5, because it has improved greatly, but it still has some of the issues that I originally spoke about. Like I said, crafting needs to be redone from top to bottom, because there are sometimes you have 2 different types of resurrection items. One that costs 2 of the out of combat field only resurrection that costs like 300 gold pieces each, and then you combine it with herbs to make 1 of the in combat only resurrection, which honestly doesn't make sense to me. But then there's also, again, the whole gambling for equipment, which makes sense. It's fine for the most part, but the animations can be cut down in regards to that, being able to open multiples at one time, as well as maybe more variety in regards to some. But yeah, and in regards to the writing, there is some improvements in regards to it. but there is still some issues in regards to just a narrative preference difference, because regardless of what character you choose through, I chose Guise as my first playthrough, but I have played through pretty much each of the characters at this point, and they are as, bland as a stale piece of white bread when it comes to, their addition to the rest of the story and plot. I feel like a lot of the NPCs would be a great asset beyond just being a meat shield if they were added more in regards to character and narrative. But that's something for, later on. Honestly, the game has improved, but it still needs a whole lot of polish to make it better, and I'm always going to be rooting for the idea of developing, polishing, then expanding. So, for Inspectus, if you're still awake in here, get to polishing, and then release the rest of your game. But yeah. That's everything. I'm checking one last time. I think that's everything. That was empty. That was done. 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 Okay, yeah. Yeah. That's all of it. That's all of it. That's all of it. Oh, boy. Oh. Oh. My brain. My mouth. My tonsils. My throat. My everything. Ugh. GG's. I know. I'm surprised I made it that long. Whew. I think this is quite honestly the longest that I've spoken in a single day, and the most I've spoken in a single day, especially on a stream. And good thing I did do a few pre-recorded ones, so that way I could give myself a break between some of them. But oh. Whew. And also, once again, big shout out to everyone who donated. We raised $110 for the Children's Miracle Network. And again, I greatly appreciate that as well. So, to recap, big thank you to Valen for starting us off with just a $75 donation. Again, thank you for just immediately getting us 3/4 of the way to the goal. Thank you to F-Zero for donating $5. Milton's Crusty Mayo Panties for donating $10. Fortispectus for donating another $10, and then Moogle Rampage for donating $5. And then Mana Relic Games donating the last $5 to get us to 110 out of 100. So we met our goal and exceeded by 10. And honestly, I'm super thankful and appreciative of that. I always like trying to raise money for charity whenever I can. It's also part of the reason why I constantly say don't spend money on me. There's other things, better things to spend it on. So go spend it on those. That being said, once again, I'll also request that people please stop making action RPGs in RPG Maker. I get that there's a whole, plugin that makes it better now, supposedly. I haven't really looked into it, but just stop. Just stop, please. It's not good. The engine's not made for it. Alright? They made other engines for doing action RPGs. I do what I want? Yeah, I suppose you do. It's just... I think I'm going to do, the next action RPG that I get, I'm going to play, the first 5 minutes of it, and I'm going to do, a litmus test of things. And if it doesn't work, or goes and, fails too many of the command requests, I'm just going to uninstall it and tell them no. Okay, I'm going to make a third shooter, or a 3D shooter. No! Bird, you got to finish Starscribed first. Release Starscribed fully, then go make the 3D shooter. Ugh. My head. That being said, this is nice. It's kind of wonderful to go through and recap through everything. And try and essentially look back through all the games that we have experienced on this past year of a ride of doing this streaming thing. And I'm honestly super glad that each of you has joined me for this ride. I really do appreciate it. Because as much as I love screaming and yelling into the void, it makes me feel nice that there's some people out there that like listening for some reason. I don't know why, but apparently you guys do. And you know what? I can't say anything other than thank you. Starscribed spin-off fighting game. If you make a spin-off fighting game of Starscribed, I would give it a try. Under one condition. You have to make the prelate into nothing but grapples. She can't be a caster or ranged. She has to be a grappler. But yeah. What time is it? 10:15. Huh. I, for one, am excited. Melodia Armica. Yeah. I, for one, am excited for Wednesday because that'll be Valen's game. We're gonna either put it through the ringer and put it up on the wall. It's either gonna be good, or it's gonna be aspiring, or it's gonna go on the wall of shame. I guess we're only find out one way or another. After that, it's Artifact Adventure on Thursday. Guess we're just gonna pull the trigger and look at and see how that one goes. Boy howdy, do I need to like vet some of these other ones at some point. I'll get to them. Pranked by that game. Demo ends without telling me. Well, how do you think I felt about Scarmonde? Fuck! Scarmonde! Shit! I forgot to do Scarmonde! God damn it! Ah! I forgot to do Scarmonde! Damn it! Fuck! Fuck, 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 fuck. You fuck yeah, no. I'm gonna do it right now. Fuck you. I'm gonna do it right now. Where's my fucking switch match over? Give me just a fucking boon. No, we're not playing you again. Go away, you. Go all the way away. Where's Scarmonde? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay, hold on. Boop. This game. Oh boy, that's... Alright, so, shame on me. I get that. Shame on me. I was so wrapped up in everything else, I accidentally skipped this game. That's on me. I'll take that. I'll take that because this game is fucking amazing, alright? I'll take that. But this game, to say Scarmonde is a good game is a fucking understatement. I want to point that out right now. This game is amazing, alright? Everything about this game is fucking amazing. I felt like I was, again, in another love letter to the olden days of NES and SNES JRPGs, particularly the very early days of JRPGs. More love letters to Final Fantasy Dragon Warrior that at some point it's trying to wonder who the hell to go out to prom with. But you know what? I'm sure Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior, they'll determine who they're going to go prom with. And it's probably going to be Scarmonde, to be honest. Because you know what? This game, the music combines with it where there's just this wonderful retro feel. That some parts go way harder than expected with its chiptune sound. And I'm still rocking out to some of the dungeons, I'd like to point out. Alright? I would fucking beat this game one of these days. And I say will, because I am still brick-walling myself against that last dungeon, that bonus content, whatever you want to call it. It's not bonus content, in my opinion. It's the rest of the fucking game, and I will get it. It has the true ending, and I will beat myself against that wall until I fucking get it. Alright? So I wanted you to keep in mind a few things. It has some quality of life bonuses compared to those old retro games that it pays homage to. The ones that it writes love letters to every fucking night and tries to get it to, win over before Chad McChatterson comes over and asks instead. Alright? This story is always so good because it only gives you in bites and pieces. It doesn't just, shove it at you. No. You get it in bites and pieces. Little bits. Alright? Scarmonde does it right. It doesn't force it. It doesn't beat you over the head. You can actually ignore a good chunk of the story and go through the whole game knowing damn near nothing. And it's still good. Not only that, it's still good because it has a high amount of replayability. The game will challenge you and even punish you for not building your shit right. I still shake my fist angrily at the fucking monsters that spammed all those debuffs and curses, making me pissed off to drop it down into a good old slugfest just to get rid of those damn things. But I would like to point out, none of it is a negative thing. This game is fucking good. It is worth every last single fucking penny I paid for it, and I will gladly pay that price again. This game is a 5 out of 5. I fucked up not putting it in the proper spot. I am willing to admit that. I'm not perfect, but this game is fucking perfect. Alright? You say, oh, the true ending's behind bonus content. No, it's not bonus content. It's the actual fucking ending. And you have to earn that shit. Alright? And if you can't earn it, then wallow in despair and Scarmonde like the rest of the rotten souls there. Till then, get good and get climbing. Because, honestly, the game is good. You get to combine equipment with purchasing the right skills and abilities and just power through. Alright? This game is worth your money and your time. Fucking go play it. Scarmonde. Stop playing. Funny thing is, you put out a review 8 days. Oh, god damn it. No, wait 4 days. Well, felt like today. Scar Tuesday here. Scarmonde. Scarmonde. I missed such a big joke with not doing Scarmonde Mondays. Damn it. Stupid idiot. Stupid idiot. Stupid. Damn it. I'm like the Chocobo gift that I use for like the ads thing. Hold on. Let me poke it up. That thing right up there. Wait, where'd it go? There it goes. That screaming Chocobo up there. That one. That's me sometimes. That's what I feel like. My deepest apologies to the developer of Scarmonde for skipping you out until the end. It was not intentional. I and my stupid brain did not edit it for you like it was supposed to. Personally, I blame myself because I was so focused on other things that I did not properly edit yours. I think it's because I honestly didn't think I would finish the game or get to the point that I felt like I could stop before the mega review. And then I did, which pisses me off more. So yeah, that's on me. My deepest apologies. But that being said, that burst of energy really took a lot out of me. Goddamn. Right. I need to leave you guys in someone's hands. Because I can't trust you alone. Because if I trusted you alone, you'd do something weird. Who's awake? Annoyed's awake. Alright. Ladies, gentlemen, you wonderful Technicolor rainbow of individuals, both inside and out. As always, I greatly appreciate you. Every single one of you. And thank you again for helping with this charity stream and raising up the $110 that we did. And honestly, we might do a charity stream again in the future where, you know, the rewards are you guys getting to bully me in different ways during the stream. So, we'll see. I'll try and work something out. But for now, let's go annoyed. Because Annoyed Nova deserves being annoyed. But also, thank you. And I'll catch you next time. Bye for now, everybody.